Hey guys, cometflamer here. How strong is the player character from Terraria? This is a question that has been on my mind for a while, and one that a lot of people have attempted to calculate in the past. I've been wanting to make this video for over a year now, and with the Terrarian recently making an appearance in the Death Battle Kickstarter pitches against Steve, who has many videos that similarly try to calculate their strength, I figured that now would be a good time to revisit this. So, how much can the Terrarian lift? Many people have tried to figure this out in the past, but many of these calculations either make some strange assumptions, or are old and use information that has since become outdated. So, I'm going to be throwing my own hat into the ring. Now, before we get into it, I want to make it very clear that my interpretation of this isn't necessarily an objective answer. Power scaling and the like is subjective by nature, and this is my opinion, so if you disagree, feel free to let me know down in the comments or even do your own calculations. By the way, a very small percentage of my viewers are subscribed, so if you enjoy the video, consider it. This video is pretty different compared to the stuff I normally do, so if you want to see more like this, consider liking and commenting, it really helps out. I also want to thank my friend Lemon for helping me test and calculate some things. Alright, that's enough of that, let's get into the math. The first question we need to answer is, what is the heaviest stackable item the Terrarian can hold? We need to find something that is actually calculable, so no fictional materials like Luminite, even if they probably are extremely heavy. Some of you might think that the fallen stars are the heaviest. Many assume that fallen stars have the mass of actual stars, but I don't really agree with that. So we need a different item. The item that is crafted with the most amount of real life material. One that you might not even know is in the game. This item is the throne. The throne is made of 10 silk and 30 of either gold bars or platinum bars. Now, platinum is actually denser than gold, so we'll be using platinum for this calculation. So, how large is a platinum bar? Well, if we place a platinum bar down as a block, we can see that it consists of 4 platinum bars somehow. Using this, we can determine that a platinum bar's volume is about 1/4 of a Terraria block. Okay, so what's the volume of a Terraria block? Well, we know that the length of a block in Terraria is 2 feet, so assuming the block is a cube, a block would be 8 cubic feet, meaning that a bar of platinum would be 2 cubic feet. Converting that to meters and then using the density of platinum, we can calculate that a platinum bar weighs 1,216 kilograms. Getting back to the throne now, we also have 10 silk in the crafting recipe. Now, we don't really have a way to figure out how much silk is in a silk item, but considering that the silk is so much lighter than platinum, the added weight would likely be negligible. So, a throne crafted from 30 bars of platinum would weigh 36,480 kilograms. So, we have the weight of a throne. Now, how many can we fit into this guy's pockets? Well, the Terrarian has a total of 52 slots for the inventory, including the trash slot and holding an item with your cursor. Additionally, the Terrarian also has access to other items that increase inventory size, such as the piggy bank. There are a total of 4 items like this in the game, each having 40 item slots. However, I'm not counting the void bag as it's clearly a portal to some sort of pocket dimension. As mentioned before, our base inventory space is 52 slots. Each of these slots can hold a stack of 9,999 thrones. Multiplying the weight of a throne by 9,999 gets us 364,800,000 kilograms. And that's just one stack. Multiplying this number by 52 gets a total weight of 18,970,000,000 kilograms. Now let's see what we get when we throw in a piggy bank, safe, and defender's forge into the mix. This gives us 117 extra slots, accounting for the 3 taken up by the items themselves, of course. Adding all of the stacks of thrones up gives us 61,650,000,000 kilograms, which is like 480,000 blue whales, I guess? But we're not done yet, as there's still more this guy can hold. There are slots for specific things in your inventory, such as armor, accessories, ammunition, and coins. Armor and accessories, though, don't really have anything heavy enough to meaningfully contribute to the gargantuan number we've already come up with, mostly because they aren't stackable. For example, the heaviest armor set that we can calculate is, surprise surprise, platinum armor. A full set of platinum armor is crafted from a total of 75 platinum bars, which weighs 91,200 kilograms. However, thanks to vanity slots, we can actually wear 2 sets of platinum armor on top of each other, doubling this weight to 182,400 kilograms. Now, this may seem like a large number, but compared to the mass of the thrones, it's so small that it's not even worth adding to the total. The same goes for the accessories, so that leaves us with ammunition and coins. Let's start with ammunition. After scrolling through all of the different ammunition types in the game, I ended up at the liquid rockets. Liquid rockets are rockets that can be filled with liquid and fired to explode and dispense a certain amount of liquid. There are 3 different kinds of liquid rockets in the game: water, honey, and lava. Now, we can't use the lava rocket because we have no idea what kind of lava the Terraria lava is, so that leaves us with water and honey. Honey is actually denser than water, so we'll be using that. We did some testing and found out that while the amount of liquid is inconsistent, a honey rocket has around 20 blocks of honey in it. Using this, we can determine that one honey rocket has about 6,410 kilograms of honey. Since there are 4 slots for the rockets, and they can stack up to 9,999, the total mass of the honey rocket yields 256,400,000 kilograms. This doesn't include the dry rockets themselves, as we can't calculate their mass due to not knowing what they're made of. Next up is the coin slots. The biggest and heaviest coin of the game is obviously the platinum coin. In order to figure out the size of the coin, we counted the pixels. The face of the coin is 44 pixels. The coin spinning animation never actually shows the coin at an angle where we can accurately determine the width of, so we'll assume it's 1 pixel thick. So 1 platinum coin is 44 cubic pixels, but that doesn't really mean anything unless we know how big a pixel is. Luckily, that's pretty easy to figure out. Remembering that a block is 2 feet long, we can see that a block in Terraria is 8 pixels long. That means that 1 pixel is approximately 3 inches. Doing all the math, we can find that 1 platinum coin is 371.57 kilograms. Since we could store 4 stacks of 9,999, the total mass of all the coins equates to 14,861,000 kilograms. That's more than a football field. Now that we have all the numbers, it's time to add them up. So how much can the player character from Terraria lift? 61 billion kilograms. With this incomprehensible strength, the Terrarian is almost strong enough to lift the entire weight of your mother.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And they can jump 6 entire blocks into the air while holding all of that. That's 12 feet. The world record highest jump is only just over 8 feet, and that's without holding the mass of the Great Wall of China in their pocket. However, lifting strength doesn't necessarily correlate to attack potency, so let's see if we can use this to figure out how hard the Terrarian can hit. First, let's find out how much energy their legs are exerting. Since the kinetic energy of the jump is equivalent to the potential energy stored at the peak of the jump, we can multiply the weight by the gravity and the height to find our energy. While gravity on Earth accelerates at 9.8 meters per second squared, Terraria's gravity is a little bit different. The wiki lists the gravitational acceleration at 18.28 meters per second squared, almost double Earth's. Multiplying all these values together gets a jump force of over 4 trillion joules. So we have the correct units now, but the Terrarian doesn't go around jumping on enemies. Okay, most of the time the Terrarian doesn't attack by jumping. So we still need to translate this feat into a feat of attack potency. Now, fair warning, there isn't really a standard way to translate between these two, so I had to do a lot of assumptions and hand-waving here. Since both legs can exert 4 trillion joules of energy, it would make sense for each leg to be able to exert 2 trillion joules each. Now, I couldn't really find a consensus on the average ratio of arm to leg strength, but a number that I saw a lot and seems like a good middle point is 2 times stronger, so I'll be going with that. So the Terrarian will be able to punch with 1 trillion joules of energy, putting them comfortably into the multi-city block levels of power. And this is before we factor in any weapons, accessories, or other buffs to damage. Now, we can't actually punch things in Terraria, but since the weakest weapon in Terraria, the wooden hammer, does 2 damage per swing, I think it's reasonable to assume that a punch would do 1 damage. So now let's start stacking some buffs to see the Terrarian's full potential. The strongest weapon in the game is of course the Zenith. With no modifiers whatsoever, it deals 190 damage per hit, already increasing the Terrarian to town levels of power. The Zenith hits hundreds of times per second and can be buffed greatly with reforges, armor, accessory, potions, etc. The Terraria wiki states that when optimized, the Zenith can do over 70,000 DPS to a single target. This means that the Terrarian can exert over 13 quintillion joules of energy per second, putting them comfortably into the large mountain ranges of power at their peak. And that is my interpretation of the strength of the Terrarian. If you watched all the way to the end and enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. This is pretty different from the stuff I normally do on my channel, and every little bit of support helps a lot. But yeah, that's about it. See ya!